timed perfectly because it came in just at the exact right time on Facebook. So I'm going to do my obligatory post in the group or comment. I mean, which there's so many frustrating things about the way that podcasting or streaming into Facebook groups work now. But one of the ones that's the most annoying is that you can't like make an everyone comment in the actual panel where you manage the call. You have to go into the group to do it. It's like I just feel like with Facebook, there's just always some sort of new little thing out there to annoy a person, be problematic. It's like it's what it does. So anyway, we're here, we're alive. I mean, as I always say, we're always alive because I mean, we're not, but if you're watching, you probably are. Just going out there. Hey Monique, long time no see. How's it going? Um, so yeah, it's close. It's definitely fall here. We live in New England, so all of the trees are now like multiple shades of like red and orange. I guess I shouldn't say all the trees, a lot of the trees. The ones right across from our house, there's a retirement home across from our house, and they have like the most gorgeous maple trees. But there's this one dead elm right in the front. So you want to like take pictures of like all the beautiful trees and you can't because there's a dead elm tree. It's been there for like 4 or 5 years at this point. And I'm kind of like waiting for it to fall over because it will land on traffic. Well, I'm not waiting for it to fall over for landing on traffic. I hope it falls over in the middle of the night when there's no traffic. But I want to give them shit because I'm pretty sure it's going to hit the power lines and our fence when it does. And I mentioned sort of like casually to the guy one time, the manager of the place, when he came over to talk to me about something. I was like, "You guys take that tree down?" He's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, we'll get it cleaned up." They have like landscapers come like twice a week, and that tree has now been up there and dead for 4 years. It's driving me bonkers. Already getting sleepy, Monique. It's only 6 o'clock for you then. Come on. Hey, Marisha, how you doing? And Jeremy, are you West Coast, Jeremy? For some reason, I thought you were Midwest. I mean, it's still I guess it's still morning if you're Midwest, so you got that. You know, I'll let that slide. um, we've probably got a lot of new people here or showing up soon because we got a huge influx of people into our Facebook group this past week, and I think a lot of it was people that found out about us through Craig Martell's new group. Because if you hadn't heard, Craig Martell is no longer running the 20 Books group, and I think that probably makes sense. I think it was a lot of work for him. And I think also he probably was getting like a ton of people asking him questions about the Vegas conference this year, which he's no longer running as well. So he probably just needs to like have a little bit of distance for his own like mental health and everything, which I totally get. Um, so that's cool. I should reach out to him and say hi and see how he's doing as well. Um, so yeah, that's that. A whole bunch of new people came in for that. So and kind of the gist I got from some of the comments is that there's people who don't know who we are, which some people are always shocked. They're like, "No, Mel, everybody knows who you are." I'm like, "You have no idea. I meet authors all the time who have no idea who we are." And you shouldn't, right? Like there's a lot of people out there in the author zone, author community, author space, the author sphere, um, who don't know about us because there's like 100,000 authors easily out there now. So expecting someone to know everybody is crazy. So yeah, so here we are. We're the Writing Wives, and um, the other writing wife, of course, is my wife Jill, and then we have a number of people that work for us as well. Not all of them are wives, but yeah, we help authors with all sorts of things about their books. Facebook advertising, AMS advertising, all sorts of other kinds of marketing things about blurb writing, a product page analysis, all sorts of stuff to help your book sell better in any way that we can. And we've been doing it professionally now for 6 years, and then for ourselves for 8 years now. So it's been a stretch, and we eased into it, but it was sort of in 2018. It was a time when people were like super hungry for folks to help them with Facebook ads. So that's kind of how we got into it. We actually got into it because people kept asking us to run webinars teaching authors and whatnot. So it's kind of cool. All right, so Jeremy's in California. Been clocked on for 2 hours. Hello, Emma, and Hello, Jill. Oh, you're so yeah. I'm excited for Jill's new book too. It's doing really well. She's got like a really awesome rank for the first book under that pen name in quite a while. So it's awesome. Monique says in YouTube about being tired. She said been busy since 6 a.m. and she refuses to take a nap. And separate sentence, no nap. I'm uh I'm a no nap person as well. I don't get rested from naps. Like Jill can take like a 15-minute nap and feel amazing. And if I take a 15-minute nap, I end up just feeling awful. And what my body really wants to do is take a 2-hour nap, but then I'm nap angry and I just want to go back to bed for the night. And I know that my sleep schedules will be all screwed up. So yeah, I too am a no nap person. Um, oh hey Sydney, nice to see you. We're actually in Massachusetts too. We're really close to Salem. So you might know roughly where we are. So yeah, so um, we've so for those of you who are new, I do this every Thursday. The Lunch with Mal podcast. It's officially a podcast now. After like 2 years of doing it, I decided that it's probably regular enough now that we could call the podcast. I've had guests on and all sorts of things. So I feel like I've crossed some sort of like official podcast threshold, even though I have absolutely no idea if there is any sort of official definition for podcast. But if there is, I'm certain I've crossed over that. And it's just like for me, it's a really nice time to hang out with folks in the community. Sort of get a feel for what people have going on. It also functions as an AMA. You can ask anything if you have any questions about Facebook ads, about what we do, about our community we've made over at Skool. That's SKOOL. In fact, actually, there's a link to it in the description for this live stream. It's our website, or the URL for it is storytellerlab.net, because Jill decided that school.com/the writing wives wasn't cool enough. And she's right, it wasn't cool enough. And storytellerlab.net is pretty cool. And I like it too because, no matter how we're producing books, whether you're the sort of person who, wants to use AI for helping you to brainstorm, whether you do everything with a pen and paper, whether you are all about like audiobook production or graphic novels or just about anything else. You're a storyteller of some sort. If you're here, you're using different mediums and different ways of telling stories, and that's what you're all about. So I think I like storytellerlab.net because it focuses on the fact that we are storytellers, and then in addition, we would like to market and sell our books as well, which would be super nice. Oh wow, your daughter works in Salem, Sydney, so she's like so excited about October. Actually, I feel like, I mean, granted, I've never worked in Salem, so I might have a different opinion if I did, but I actually don't mind Salem in October. Like it's a pain to get past it on the highway, that's for sure, but they run extra trains there now, and we have Uber now, so I feel like it's a little bit less congested than it used to be. Um, I could be wrong though. People who live there may have entirely different viewpoints. Um, but uh, but yeah, it is, for those of you who are curious, it is the Salem that we live right next to. Um, oh, that's awesome that Halloween's her favorite holiday. Then she works in the right place. Absolutely. And as Jill mentioned, for anybody who is in Massachusetts or maybe like in Rhode Island or southern New Hampshire, we're doing an author mingle next week. Actually, it's going to be at our gym, which has a really nice lounge. That's why we're doing it there, which is near the Lifetime, or is in the Lifetime gym near the North Shore Mall. So anybody who would be keen on that, that's something that we have as well. So yeah, so as always, anybody who might have any questions about Facebook ads or about book marketing in general, feel free to drop them in the comments and let me know. If there's anything that's on your mind, if you're struggling with anything, be happy to chat about that with you. Um, we've been doing our calls with people that are in our membership now, and it's always kind of interesting how like new things come up for people, and sometimes there are things that I don't think to talk about because I've talked about them a lot. But someone has like a new angle on it or a new question. One of the ones we got into yesterday that was really really fun to talk about was front matter and back matter, and just like how to optimize it, and you know um, adding in epilogues that create cliffhangers and stuff like that, which I think is really important, and something that folks, if you're writing a series and you want to get read through to your next books, don't tie things up neatly with a bow. That should be something that you never do. You should always focus on on ways to get people sort of hooked into the next book before the current book ends. But of course, you have to do what the book says on the tin. That's sort of my default way. Like you buy a can of beans, better be full of beans. You know, better not be half full of beans or beans and carrots. If it's at beans, it's got to be beans. You know, and if they pick up your book and your book is about steamy wolf shifter romance, and they get to the end of book one and the characters only got to holding hands for the first time, that's you know not going to be great. They're not going to be satisfied with that. So you've got to like make sure the book delivers on what's going to deliver, and then add in some sort of very strong hook that readers will call a cliffhanger, even though technically it really wouldn't be a cliffhanger. So Monique says, I can't use Facebook Pixel on my Shopify ad. I have a Shopify Lite subscription. Should I have my traffic ads, my ads as traffic instead of purchase? I did not know that Shopify Lite didn't allow the Pixel. I would, to be honest, if it was me, I would pay the extra 30. Is it, well, actually, I don't know what Lite costs. I think the full is 30, right? $30 a month. If it were me, I would probably pay for the 30 so I get the ability to use the Pixel. But if you can't have the Pixel on your e-commerce site, then yes, you have to run traffic ads. Otherwise, Facebook will constantly be trying to rebuild an audience because it's trying to get people to, it's trying to get a checkout event, or a purchase event, I should say, sent back from the Shopify website, and it never gets one. So it keeps changing your audience, and you're never really going to like get solidified. Now I'm confused. It's not a shop. I use the links on my websites. I don't actually know exactly what that means, but Lite is $9, regular is $29. All right. I guess it depends if you're selling print books only, then I suppose Lite is fine. If you're trying to do ebooks on your Shopify website, then I think I would probably go for paid, just because of like the additional power that it gets you with stuff. Marisha says Salem's on her bucket list, which it should be. It's a fun place. But this is a plug for Eastern New England. If you want to go to Salem for all of the witchy stuff in Salem, you actually have to come to Danvers, because none of the witches are from Salem. They're almost all from Danvers. Actually, one guy might have been from Salem, but they're mostly Danvers, Peabody, and North Andover is where they're all from, because Salem was a city, and outside of Salem was a place called Salem Village, or Old Salem Village, which is basically an area of farmland outside of Salem, and Danvers is most of what that is now Danvers, and that's where the whole witch craze started and everything like that. So, and here we have a memorial basically saying, we're really sorry that we killed all those people. And Salem, they're like, we witches. And we're not like anti-witch in Danvers. It's a very different vibe, and there's more of the history is here. The courthouse was in the Salem, the city, which is why it sort of is more associated with it, because the trials themselves happened there, but everything that led up to it happened here. So Sydney says, I wonder if the election is the reason why Facebook ads are a bit screwy right now. Should we turn them off until after November 5th? I don't think Facebook ads are screwy right now, because the election, the main thing that elections tend to do is they tend to increase the cost of your ads. I looked over the data from 2016 and 2020, and I saw about a 25% increase in the cost of ads. Now, the other thing I found is that people actually were reading more those years, probably because they're tired of reality and wanted to escape to the pretend worlds that we've all made in our books. So I wouldn't stop my ads. I might take ads that are, though, if I had ads that are on like the cusp of not being profitable, I might decrease my spend on those, to make it so the ad can probably get more low-hanging fruit and people that are cheaper to target. Because the more you up your ad spend, the more expensive the ad's going to get, because you exhaust the inexpensive, not shopping for anything people, and you move up into like more expensive targets, that can be more, where your CPC will then go up. So if you have ads that are kind of like, kind of on the fence, you could lower your spend. I wouldn't turn them off, unless you were like making no money off of those ads. Then I might turn them off. But I feel like if you're running ads, they should be profitable. I would certainly not experiment with new ads right now, because I think you're going to get, the learning phases may be pretty weird right now, and you might get odd results. So not a lot of experimentation, but I would keep things running that are running well. Yes, Salem does have some statues. And it is cool, and they have some good tours. I just sort of find the interesting thing being that the Salem tours are just in Salem. But here you can go to the Rebecca Nurse House. You can see the memorials where, which is across the street from where the town hall was, where the first accusations were made. I think a couple of the other houses that the witches lived in are around here too. The Rebecca Nurse one is the one that most people go to, though. Um, oh, that's cool. I can highlight comments from YouTube. I cannot do it from Facebook. Um, yeah, Salem is definitely worth getting to. So City says, I guess my ads are always just screwy. I can spend 300 and only make 100 for a month. Then I give up. A bit of a pattern. I pretty much always make no money. It's a win if I even break even. All right. Well, that sounds like, Sydney, there's a number of reasons why ads might not be profitable. And I'll get the hardest one out of the way first. It could be the book. It could be that there's something wrong in the book that is causing your ads not to make a lot of money. Generally, the way you can tell if there's something wrong in the book is that when you start running ads, let's say, so $300 a month is $10 a day ad spend. $10 a day ad spend should move you down to around 100,000. Like a book that's not being advertised at all and not selling at all is going to have a rank in the hundreds and hundreds of thousands. $10 a day should move you down to around 100,000 in rank. So if you move to 100,000 in rank when you have $10 a day worth of ad spend running, but you don't get any page reads, that means that something's wrong with the book. People are borrowing the book, you're getting maybe a couple of page reads, and then they're DNFing the book, and not carrying on from there. The other scenario is that your rank doesn't change. Your rank stays in the 200, 300, 400,000 range while you're spending $10 a day, which then suggests that things are not good, and that people aren't picking up the book at all. That's what you'll see if either you're not in KU, or if there's something, or if there's something wrong with your product page, like your cover's not good, your blurb doesn't convert, or conversely, your ad could be set up in such a way that's attracting non-readers, or that's attracting people who don't realize it's a book until after they click and then they peace out, or it's just the wrong audience mismatch altogether. But somehow, the people that you're grabbing with the ad aren't happy with what they see when they land on your product page. Like I said, it could be the product page, or it could be mismatch that's causing that to happen, and that's where you'll get like a lack of conversion. And I guess a last option is, like, maybe you're getting a rank spike from that $10 a day. You're getting some reads on book one, but there's no reads on book 2, 3, 4, or whatever, and that's a read-through problem. So one has to sort of sit down and analyze what is going wrong with these ads. And there's, of course, you should stop ads that are costing you money. You shouldn't be losing money on ads. If ads are costing you money, then you need to do something different. But certainly, one should not go 30 days with ads that are losing money. If you go 2 weeks with an ad and it doesn't like cross over the profitability line, then you got to kill that and try something different. And then, of course, likewise, when you start new ads, there's like a lot of tactics like click testing and ultra wide audience targeting and all sorts of other things like that. But at the end of the day, you're showing ads to humans, right? You're not showing them to an algorithm. You're not showing them to Zuckerberg. You're showing them to people. And your ad creative, your image, your text, your headline has to appeal to those people. So if you want to be experimenting with different things on the ad side, then that's the part you should be experimenting with. And you should be doing things different and trying different things, trying video, testing videos on TikTok, and then trying them on Facebook ads. Although don't use the copyright TikTok audio. You can't use Taylor Swift's audio in a Facebook ad. That'll get your account shut down. So that's the kind of thing you should be doing. And then also likewise, try a different blurb. If you have an ad that's kind of like on the cusp, you think maybe my conversions aren't good enough, try a different blurb, because that's free. And that's a great thing to do. Monica Kane says, recently I was told by an ad specialist that Facebook doesn't like Amazon attribution links and your ads won't perform as well if you have them. Have you found this to be true? That is absolutely poppycock. That's people say the darndest things, and that is absolutely one of the darndest things. Facebook won't like affiliate links, which are different than attribution links. Affiliate, because it's actually against the law to use affiliate links on ads. So Facebook tends to be grouchy about using affiliate links on your ads. But like Facebook, like it's interesting that your ad won't perform as well because there's two ways your ad won't perform as well. One, Facebook charges you more per click, and the other would be that Facebook targets the wrong people on purpose. Like that seems counterintuitive. Um, no, Facebook is actually all about trying to make it so it finds the right people for you, so you like your experience using them, get good results, and then give them more money. Like you have to think about this from like Facebook as a business's perspective. What is Facebook in business to do? Make more money. And if they give you a subpar experience, now at this point, you're like, I have a lot of subpar experiences with Facebook. It's like, yes, true. But if they are like deliberately making it so that the number one retailer in existence performs poorly with Facebook ads, therefore giving advertisers a poor experience, and then that number one retailer has their own advertising platform that people can then switch to, why would Facebook do that? I can't think of any reason why Facebook would do that. And then on top of that, I have seen no negative impact in performance from using affiliate or using attribution links, not affiliate links. Affiliate links are bad. Yeah, I've seen nothing from using like that from using attribution links. And I've probably at this point run 10,000 ads with attribution links at this point because it's been over 2 years now that we've had them. I'd be shocked if it was actually a number as low as 10,000 ads that I've run with attribution links. So, um, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not like they're running affiliate links to like Jimbo's, random crypto scam.com. It's to Amazon. So it's, oh, you mean the people that said that? The people that said that to you? Um, I don't know why they would say that. I've talked with a lot of Facebook reps. I know people who work for Facebook. Um, none of them have ever indicated anything like that at all. So yeah, I don't know why anyone would say that. To be honest, the only reason I can think of someone saying that, I'm not going to cast aspersions on whichever company this might be, because there are some very reputable companies out there who run Facebook ads for people and do teaching on Facebook ads. There are some disreputable people out there who also do it. And sure would be cool if you could convince people to run to let you to run ads in a format that removes accountability for them. I don't even know if they run Facebook ads for people or whatnot. I don't know if that's why they're doing this, but I have encountered people before who have tried to convince authors to run ads in such a way that it is harder to tell if the ad is working properly. Um, I actually have a client who's using both me and someone else at the same time. And I look at the ads the other client's running. I'm like, oh, look at that. They're not running attribution links. And I mention to the client every single time, I'm like, there's no way that ad's working. Its cost per click is too high. And the book they're advertising hasn't changed rank, and they're not using affiliate tracking. I'm like, if they were using affiliate tracking, you would see that green line flat at the bottom. Um, and the client hasn't gotten that other company to change. Um, so yeah, it's yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, Monica. I will say, not to toot my own horn too much here. Um, I'll toot my own horn. What the hell? I don't think that anybody works as many clients as we do. So I'm just gonna put that out there. And I've talked with a bunch of other people in the industry, and they all agree with me that they think that we're actually the largest company when it comes to running Facebook ads for clients. So, and I don't say that to say that like what I say is right just because we're bigger. I say it to say that like I have a lot of experience, and so does my team of people. There are 5 of us on the Writing Wives team. Oh, sorry, 6 of us, and 4 of us run Facebook ads all the time. It's all we do is we work on Facebook ads for ourselves and for other authors. Um, and at any given week at the Writing Wives, we're working with 50 to 60 authors on their Facebook ads. So it's a thing that we do all the time. I was talking with Jill just this morning. We were talking about Mark Dawson, and how things have changed since back in the day in 2016 when he was like the only one teaching how to run Facebook ads, and of course he stepped back from it now. Um, one of the things I mentioned, we were talking about like, because we were having sort of a business meeting talking about differentiators for ourselves. And I said, a lot of the people who teach Facebook ads don't run Facebook ads for a lot of people. And I said to Jill, like, there's so much stuff I know about Facebook ads that I would never have ever learned if I'd just been running them for myself, because I wouldn't have enough data. I wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't know if something is genre specific, if something only applies to shorter books or longer books, or, strategies that work with books under 10,000 words, all sorts of things, middle grade, all sorts of stuff that I would never have written. And then seeing commonalities between these different groups of authors, and different genres and stuff like that. So it is a complex business, and it's certainly something that you can't discern. It takes a lot of work to actually make a statement about whether or not something does or does not work. I'm actually very hesitant to make blanket statements. There's very few that I will make, because I know of edge cases to all of them. The other thing I do too is I do validate a lot of what I've learned and a lot of theories I have with people outside of the author marketing community, because the Facebook advertising community is massive. We are less than a tiny sliver of the Facebook marketing, Facebook ads community out there. So I watch videos by people who run multi-million-dollar marketing firms, and hang out in groups with people who run Facebook ads outside of the author community and see what they're talking about. And no one has ever mentioned that particular thing. So you're welcome. All right. So Sydney says, thank you for all that. Books have good reviews. So Sydney's referring to why her ads might not be converting. I also daily with Amazon ads to little success. I guess I need to hire out. I'm not a numbers person. I don't like analyzing. Spreadsheets make my brain hurt. And also, I also use attribution links. I would never go back to doing ads without them. Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't either. It's the idea of doing ads with attribution links is like, sure, why don't I pluck out my eyes and try and run ads now? I am curious, by the way, when you say books have great reviews, can you elaborate how many reviews? How many reviews on book one? How many reviews on book two? How many reviews on book three as well? I'd be curious to know. Jeremy says, Mel, can you share your costs for running out ads? I'm not sure what you mean by that question, by running out. Maybe that was a typo. Emma Luna says, I find the attribution links so helpful. You've got no idea that ads are working or not without them. As I found this week when I messed up one of my links. Yes, that did happen to Emma. We were trying to dig into why an ad wasn't working. We realized the link wasn't correct. And I'll be eager to see if the ad actually does. Oh, there's no www on the link. Oops, I'm sorry about that. I might have typed that in. We should set up a redirect for the www though. So that works. Let me just, I'm just going to quickly edit the link in the post so that is correct, or functional. There we go. Just editing that. Oh, you mean, so you're asking if we run ads directly for a client, what we charge? I actually don't know what our current rate is, because Jill handles that. I think it's $1,800 a month, but it's in that vicinity. And then there's a startup period which can last up to 2 months where we do testing and try and find out, can we run profitable ads, and what's going to work. Sometimes we'll test multiple series too, if you got more than one series, and then once we get that rolling, then we move into sort of the recurring contract. So yeah. Okay, 2,000 a month. I was close. So yeah, it is obviously expensive to have us run your ads for you, which is why we have other options that are cheaper, like our as you guys are looking at our storyteller.lab, storytellerlab.net offering, because in there you can get a lot of the courses, a lot of the teaching that I do on how to run ads and how to analyze them and stuff like that. I know, Sydney, that might be well outside of your of where you're at right now to have us run ads for you, because also if you want to be profitable, if you're going to spend $2,000 a month with us running ads for you, you have to be spending like $3,000 a month bare minimum on the ads themselves. So, and a lot of people move up towards like $10,000 a month they're spending on ads as we scale. which we don't do it overnight, obviously. But I think there's like the methods I have for analyzing ads and seeing, what's going to work and what's not does not involve too much time in spreadsheets. One can do that if one wants to, but I have some really basic ways of analyzing whether or not ads are profitable or not, beyond just like, am I in the black versus am I in the red? Um, and then ways to like look at them and optimize and stuff like that. Um, but it does require you to do a little bit of work to know your read through value, like how much money you make from read through and how well that's working for you. Because if you have terrible read through, you can't run profitable ads. So that's the first thing. Figure out if your read through is good and your ads can be profitable. We do a lot of work with like genre and trope research. We have a whole course on that to understand not only like what genre you're and what tropes you have. And believe it or not, sometimes people are unaware of some of the tropes that they have in their books, but also how are the people that are doing well presenting that genre and trope to readers, because how you present it may not actually be what like is the way it's commonly presented, and you might actually have issues where you're saying a certain thing and people are misinterpreting that. We were talking with an author last night in one of our roundtables, and we were looking at her blurb, and pretty much everybody walked away with the conclusion that it was a secret baby book, and it was not a secret baby book. And so that would have been turning off her usual readers, because she doesn't like secret baby, and it's not a trope that she does, so it could have actually been causing a problem. So there's that kind of analysis that can be done, and then there's stuff like cover, the blurb in general, all that sort of thing. But I am curious, like what your read through, what your number of reviews look like and read through looks like and stuff like that. And Jill's got some answers for you there too. So yeah, we're really excited about that, because the self-paced membership to our community is only $37 a month, and you get access to everything. And then there's ones where you get like the round tables that are more that you can upgrade to. But all the videos I've ever done on Facebook ads, and a whole bunch of other topics are in there, and we're recording new ones all the time. We just did one yesterday, put up one on A+ videos. I'm re-recording all of our launch plan videos, because the last time I recorded them was like 2 years ago, and there's some changes now. So lots of cool stuff like that. Ruka, hopefully I got that somewhat right, says, can you share what kind of graphics or we should usually use for profitable ads? Your graphic, so there's two ways you can do it. One of them is that you actually use like a graphical image, and that image should be conveying genre and trope. You can use your book cover. Sometimes people use their book cover and they'll have like a little trope arrows, kind of like, which is a popular thing on TikTok, which can be useful. I think that's like one of the things you can have in your arsenal. If you haven't seen them before, it's just like a picture, square image, the book's in the middle, and they'll be like, enemies to lovers, forced proximity, and there'll be little arrows, cute little arrows drawing to the book. Those can work, but they don't work for everybody. And a lot of times, because your book cover may not like be super compelling when it's very small. And then so some people will just like then use a big version of their book cover, and sometimes it doesn't look good. Sometimes it can work. And actually with generative AI, like in Photoshop and other things, you can actually like very easily take the text off your book cover, and then sometimes you can actually have a good image that you can work with. It's actually pretty easy to do that now, which is one of my favorite things about generative AI, that you can sort of repurpose art you already have in some new and creative ways. What I find works best, is an image that conveys genre and trope really well. So you've got like a steamy biker romance, right? Well, then you need a dude leaning on a motorcycle with some tats, because we want to say motorcycle club, and we don't want him to look too clean or something like that, because then it looks like, what is this, like billionaire playboy? I don't know. So it's got to scream the right genre and trope. And then like how much chest he's showing is probably going to convey how steamy it is. Although motorcycle club is almost always pretty steamy. I don't think anyone's out there writing clean motorcycle club. And then I always am a really big fan of having the book cover down in the corner. Doesn't have to be massive. What the book cover exists for down in the corner there, and I like doing a nice 3D cover, like you can get from DIY book covers. They have a tool for making 3D book covers, or BookBrush has it as well. That book cover down there in the corner, and it shouldn't even be. It should be filling up, like if you were to divide the square image into 9 quadrants, nine sections, not quadrants. It should be like just occupying the bottom right of those 9 sections. You know, so if you drew a hash on the image, just the bottom-ish corner. So not like a bottom quarter. It should be smaller than that. And that's to make it so that people seeing your ad know it's for a book. Because one of the changes that Facebook made this past January was that they will show your ad to people that you don't want them to show it to. Through a variety of means, they will eventually expand beyond whatever audience you picked. And depending on the choices you made making your ad, that eventually expand beyond might be immediately. And so you might be showing your ad to non-readers. So you really want to make sure that you're helping those non-readers self-select out. And the more people self-select out of clicking your ad, the better it's going to work, because Facebook's going to know how to tune your ad to not show it to people who don't read books. It will eventually figure it out. And then I also think these days you need to put a tagline length piece of text, or maybe a little bit shorter even, on there as well. I like doing it like you would sort of do on TikTok, with like the bubble, sort of bubbly thing around it and the black text. In TikTok land, they're called hooks. So something very like a hook, like when you're bent over the copy machine and your boss walks up behind you, you know, or something like that. Or it could be like a character quote, like why whenever we fly into a new star system does everybody want to kill us, or something like that, for like a sci-fi angle. Or I don't know, you kind of get the idea. Very much oftentimes the same sort of text you would use in a good headline, not reviews. And it needs to be show, don't tell. Don't say like, you know, an amazing enemies to lovers romance. You know, show it through character interaction, show it through a pithy piece of text. You know, show it through prose. Don't just say what your genre and trope are. Show, don't tell. Because what you have to do really is, your whole purpose of your ad is to make somebody care about this imaginary person you made up in your head within a few seconds, and then click. And you want to make a connection with your character, not with a product as much. So that's why I'm always about like show, don't tell. Make it about the story. And that's how you get the best sort of conversions. Now, there's another type that worked really well, and that is everything I said, but just the text on a solid color black background, because those really grab people's attention as they're doom scrolling through Facebook. They're not very cluttered. And then that pithy piece of text that you've selected is like on a blue background or something like that. Or if it's like a horror, maybe it's like a dark, like burgundy background with white text or something. That sort of thing can work pretty well too. Those can be a little bit riskier, because unless you put your book down there as well, which you can put your cover on those, you might get people who don't realize it's a book. You know, they might be thinking it's a TV show or a movie, or like in the case of science fiction, they might think it's a video game or something like that as well. So that's kind of the risk with that. There's Clean Motorcycle Club. It's like 5 author stops. Okay, I believe that. Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't say there isn't any, because there's probably something from everything. So yes. City says, I will persist. Did you learn from this Facebook group? I'm still figuring out what is offered. I heard $37 a month. Dun, dun, dun. So Jill, I think Jill's probably answered that already, so I'll let that slide. Monica says, do you think a video reels as a Facebook or Instagram ad convert as well as static image ads? I've run hundreds of them at this point. They work really well. Reels work great. They work better if your audience is younger. Still images tend to work a bit better for older audiences. Reels work better for younger audiences. Still images will also not show on Instagram very much, but Reels will show on Instagram quite a bit. So if you want it, and there's just as many readers on Instagram now as there are on Facebook, and they're younger in general. So if you want to capture those younger readers, you have to be running your ads on Instagram, and they need to be video. Video ads do not convert as well as still image ads as far as like getting you reads or sales. However, they're usually quite a bit cheaper. So it comes out in the wash. Cheaper, I mean, they have a lower cost per click. So it oftentimes works out that even though they have lower conversion rates, they cost less. So it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But every ad, every author, every audience, every book is different. So you have to experiment and then see what you get. If you do pull over, like I said before, if you do pull over Reels off Instagram or TikTok to use as ads, make sure you change the audio or just strip the audio out. They tend to do pretty well even without audio, because you don't want to have a copyright violation. You're very welcome, Richard. And the videos in our community have a lot more detail on this. A lot of like actual like me going through multiple examples, making them, showing how they work, showing how I might look at a given book and select the text that I might use. So this obviously is like the 5-minute version of what I have hours of content on. And it's all broken up by doing this, doing this, doing this. You're not committing to watching hours all at once. You can get things in nice bite-sized chunks. Emma says, I know we always run ads to book one in a series, but what's your opinion on running ads to a standalone? Standalones can work, but they need to be really good and convert like crazy. So, speaking of which, I need to make a note to myself for something. I have an author who actually has a standalone that's working super well, but her Facebook ad account got shut down. So I need to reach out to her and see where we are on that. Her book sells so well, I will run the ads on my account, even like they're that good. Because I don't need to worry about it. Basically, I don't have to be like, oh God, what am I going to get into? And also, like, she makes good profit, and I don't want her to be without that opportunity. Anyway, so she's a standalone that's profitable. I work with a number of authors who we are profitable for their ads on book one in a series. So even without any read through, they're profitable. It is rare. Usually, if you can get that sort of thing, it only hits for a while, like maybe get a couple of months, and then sort of the low-hanging fruit is gone, and you can't get profitability anymore on just book one or on a standalone. Maybe a handful of times, and I mean like 5, I've seen books that are eternally profitable on book one or as a standalone. It is very rare for that to happen. Like right now, I'm running an ad for Hattie Jack's new release, Caged, and it's book one of a new series. And we ran a release ad, and it just keeps making money. So we have the ad running now on week 4, but the returns are starting to diminish. So I think probably by week 8, we'll probably turn the ad off or drop it down to just like $5 or $10 a day until book 2 and 3 come out, and we can get more money off the read through. All right. So Jeremy says, if you have a TikTok business account and you're limited to audio, you're allowed to use anyhow. Yes, but they still have licenses for audio on TikTok that you do not have a license to use anywhere else. So keep that in mind. One can go in and use a business, like actually inside the Instagram app, create an ad there, and then note what audio you can use. I've had people go through the rigmarole of doing that, and then they make the reel on that, download it, and then use it in the ad manager. And that can work because that's stuff that you're licensed to use. But I have literally found like a 1 to 2% difference in audio versus non-audio on video ads. And there's and there's actually, like, if you go to like stock.adobe.com, they have like really good audio that you can get to. Because I kind of feel like if you can't use like the #1 hot trending songs, a lot of the times what you're left with is not any better than just some random piece of audio you can get. I'm out of water. I'm dying. We're at 12:45. All right. I have a call in 15 minutes, so I do need to wrap pretty soon, but we'll see what else we got here. Jill says I have a free Facebook ad beginning trailer. We put together part of the school preview. Okay, cool. So Jill's hooking people up with that. That's awesome. Glad you guys all showed up and were able to get that. And hi, Sue and Kara. It's nice to see you guys as well. Wait, it looks, Kara. All I see is this tiny little thing, but it looks like Wonder Woman. Oh, it's Supergirl and American. Oh, it's American Gladiators. All right, that's cool. That's awesome. I thought I saw Wonder Woman not comments, costumes there in your profile pic. I am all about costumes, so I love it. And of course, it's spooky month too, so I'm like, I've been wearing a lot of like costume cat suits and stuff like that this month. Not today, as it turns out, but Lucia says, I face another issue because I'm in India. When it comes to setting up ads targeting USA or another country, trouble in reaching. I have not had any experience running ads for someone who's based out of India. I work with people though who are in New Zealand, South Africa, Australia, United Kingdom, Netherlands, Germany, Canada, and of course, the United States. And I've never encountered issues targeting people in other countries for any of those people. But that being said, those are all, with the exception of Germany and the Netherlands, they're all majority English-speaking countries, and maybe there's some sort of commonality there. So I'm not sure what India might have um, affecting that, but that might be something that if you want to join our community, you could ask in our forums, and we could dig into it more. But it has been great talking with all of you today. It's been really nice seeing a lot of new faces that we've got from the influx of new people. I think across all the different platforms, we've had as many as like 35 people watching today, which is super cool. So I look forward to seeing you all again. And of course, many people watch this on replay too, which is why now I call it a podcast, because it's not always live. The people watch it, which blew me away the first time. I'm like, what? People actually catch up on this later? It's so cool. And they're all like, yes, Mal, you say that all the time, but I still think it's cool. Okay, I think it's pretty neat. So hi to all of you folks, and I hope you guys are all doing great as well. Kara says, yes, American Gladiators for 4th of July parade. Oh, that's so cute, Kara. I love that. You're very welcome, everybody. It was really nice chatting with all of you. Next week, by the way, Rucha, if you don't end up joining our community, which of course you don't have to. But if you do join our community, you can ask there, and we can dig into more details. But you can also have a little more detail next week, maybe on some of the things you think you face being in a different country. We could possibly look into that as well. But like I said, I do have to jet. So, oh, and Monique says she's going to get a Shopify store for her name. See how it goes before starting a pen name. It's actually $39.99 a month. That's a bit, but I mean, if you're doing ebooks, I think it totally could pay off. So that'd be awesome. All right, have yourselves a fabulous day. If you live down south, I guess Florida specifically for this last hurricane, but if you live in the South United States, I hope things are going well. You're gonna have thoughts a lot, and hopefully things chill out for the rest of the year. And for everybody else, I hope everybody's weather is calm and gorgeous through this fall. Let's go with that. And we'll see you next week. Have a good one.